What's good with y'all boys, man? We back with another One Piece video, bro. I'm sorry for being inconsistent with the videos, bro. I've been having some trouble with my PC setup. Also, let me know in this video right now if the audio was fucked up. If the audio was fucked up, then I gotta make some tweaks. Currently, I'm recording off some different shit right now, but let's not waste no time on that. We got a nice amount of shit to talk about with this chapter, so let's get straight into it. So we started off the chapter picking up right where we left off last week, with Luffy pulling up to the fight and sending Emu flying with that punch right to the face. And right after Luffy sends Emu flying with that punch, we see Emu form some flames coming out of his fingertips again, and he sends them flying towards Luffy and Loki. Those flames that Emu sent out immediately track onto Loki's wound that Emu made earlier when he stabbed him a few chapters ago, and we see Emu let off an attack called Stigma, and it forms a giant ass blade right through that same wound Emu stabbed Loki in a few chapters ago. And this attack looks crazy as fuck. I know for a fact if Loki was not an important character, this shit definitely got the capability to kill him for sure, But we all know he's probably not gonna die, but this is still a crazy attack nevertheless. And this attack is even more crazy because if I'm not mistaken, this shit tracks. Because Emu is far for while this attack is going on. He's nowhere near Loki and this shit is going straight through him, my nigga. And we see Emu tries to make that same attack hit Luffy a few panels after this, but Luffy, being a smart nigga, he throws the jacket up in the air, and since the attack tracks, it tracks his jacket instead of him. But as Loki was getting knocked the fuck back, we see him fall to where the Straw Hat crew is, near the iceberg that Gumko was frozen in. And I'm gonna be honest, when I first was reading this shit, I 100% thought, holy shit, this might be Usopp's moment to get a hold of Ragnar and unfreeze Gumko and finally do some shit. Cause everybody been saying, Usopp's arc. Y'all know me personally, I'm not a fan. I want Usopp to get packed up and sacrifice himself for that to be his moment, me personally. But as this is happening, Loki gets knocked over here near the crew as they're trying to figure out how to unfreeze Gumko, and Loki's hammer just bumps into the ice and just naturally unfreezes this bitch. And I immediately started dying laughing because I'm like, well, that whole Usopp helping free Gumko shit, that ain't finna go down. But since Loki is fucked up and the hammer is still here near Usopp, y'all still got a slight chance, you know what I'm saying? This chapter right here proved a lot of people's cope can pay off. We're gonna talk about what I mean by that later on. But yeah, Usopp fans, you know what I'm saying? Let me know how y'all feel about this. Let me know if y'all think it's gonna be a chance. My Loki fans, I'm a top tier Loki fan too, but hey, it kind of sucks that Loki isn't gonna be involved in this 2v1. I really thought we was gonna get a 2v1, but of course now since Loki's gotten hit by this, we know that's probably not gonna happen anymore. But at least he got his ones in with Emu. I feel like he definitely needed that steal too, and I feel like he lasted pretty good. I can't remember how many chapters it's been because I've been so out of the loop with One Piece low key, bro, dealing with real life shit and not recording the videos on time. But he definitely lasted longer than I think people thought he would, for sure. We get a little bit deeper into the chapter. We see Zoro and Summers, and this is the precursor to the Sanji hype. And y'all know Zoro's my favorite fucking character, bro, and I love this moment from him. We see him hyping up Sanji. He's talking to Summers, and Summers is like, yeah, bro, one of my associates is going over there to pack up the kids and bring them over here so we can go ahead and bail. And Zoro says, well, isn't that a coincidence? One of my associates is coming over there as well. But as for your associate, he won't be making it back, unfortunately. And then Summers says, may I ask why? And Zoro says, cause he'll be dead. Now, I'm gonna keep it such a being. Like I said, I'm a Zoro glazer, bro. Zoro's been my favorite character since I first started watching One Piece. Zoro used to be my PFP on both my channels on this motherfucker. I'm not gonna lie. But this was amazing, okay? And y'all go see when we get to the Sanji shit, bro. I might be a Zoro fanboy, but I am not a Sanji hater. That is not how I get down. I love both of the characters. But just seeing Zoro hype Sanji up like this was good as fuck to see. And mind you, I didn't even get spoiled for this chapter. I just seen everybody talking about Sanji. But I didn't know what the fuck happened. You know what I'm saying? I just saw hella thumbnails with Sanji, hella TikToks catered around Sanji. I'm like, all right, bro, I'm not gonna watch these shits. I'm gonna wait till I read the fucking chapter so I can have like an authentic reaction and, you know what I'm saying, yapping to y'all niggas about this shit. But love this moment from Zoro right here. I think low-key, him and Summers fight might be better than what we think we gonna get, but it's obviously probably not gonna be better than Luffy versus Emu or what's finna go on with Sanji and killing him. But right after that, we cut to our boy Sanji, and we see he's over here having this dilemma to himself where he's like, yeah, I can't hit a woman, and he's over here referring to Zaza, but he's talking about how Zaza is making women like Ripley cry. due to her kidnapping their children and all that bullshit. And he says the cause of that is Killingham, and these niggas is scrapping over here and shit. But then Killingham starts talking shit to Sanji. But Killingham says, "Do you got Conqueror's Haki?" And then it looks like he knocks Sanji down with like his spear or whatever the fuck. And he leaves his ass there, and he sends his ass packing, and he goes on to do some other shit. If y'all hear these fireworks in the background, bro, my fucking fault. These shits are loud as fuck. This is why I hate the fucking 4th of July, my nigga. We see Sanji over here on the ground, and he starts thinking about the conversation that him and Scopper Gaban had earlier in the arc. And Scopper Gaban says Sanji possesses all the qualities of a king, but yet he has this uncertainty about himself, which makes a lot of fucking sense when you think about Sanji's character. And for all you Sanji fans who constantly was coping and never holding and never giving up on Sanji having conquerors, this y'all moment, bro. Let me clap it up for y'all and shit, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all deserve this shit, okay? It was so many niggas who swore up and down Sanji would never get conquerors. I was never one of them niggas. Me personally, I always felt like it was a toss-up. I've always felt like conquerors was one of those things where shit, Oda could do it if he wants, but if he doesn't do it, I can also see that as well. It kind of got to the point where niggas really didn't think Sanji was gonna get it no more, just because of how long it's kind of been. And since it's like Zoro already had it for like the last 2 arcs. But if you really think about it, bro, this is a lot of week-to-week fatigue I'm hearing, in my opinion, which is why I feel like a lot of these takes are being had. I've seen so many niggas say Sanji don't deserve this shit, this is horrible writing, a whole bunch of shit. Now, does Sanji deserve it? I feel like that's a horrible take to say he don't deserve it, my nigga. Useless Captain Mid has it, bro. If that nigga has it, anybody could get that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I could understand why some niggas feel like he should have been had this, or the conflict of this with his German powers thing, and why it's like, well, what was the purpose of doing a German power shit? Just to make him have strong Haki anyway? You know what I'm saying? I can understand that argument, but saying he doesn't deserve it, I feel like it's just crazy. Now, could Oda have made this be a better moment or more foreshadowing in story a little bit more? Yeah, for sure. But even then, there's a decent amount of foreshadowing in the story and outside of the story, and fucking SBS and just what's that shit? Cover panels, those things that he's wording, or the wording he uses when Sanji's reading that cookbook thing. It was like Cock King or some shit. I remember that was a main thing people were saying to use that on why Sanji's gonna have Conqueror's Cutting before this even happened. And I mean, look, bro, Scopper Gaban himself is also a parallel to Sanji. So I feel like that's another good reason on why he should have it, considering Zoro's a parallel to Rayleigh, and Rayleigh has it, and Zoro has it as well. So yeah, I'm not really with the whole Sanji shouldn't have this shit, or, you know what I'm saying, it's horrible writing. Definitely could have been more build up to it a little bit for sure, and it could have happened a tad bit sooner. Those two things I slightly agree with though. But nevertheless, I do feel like this is still gonna be a good moment for him. And like I was saying earlier, a lot of the complaints I feel like come from a week-to-week basis type of thing. It feels like it's been a long time since Sanji hasn't gotten conquerors. If you compare it to when Zoro got it, because Zoro was using that shit in Wano. But if you reading this shit week to week, nigga, Wano was like 3-4 years ago, my nigga. So it's like, of course it's gonna feel like a long ass time. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like in the grand scheme of things, bro, it's all gonna be pretty good. In reality, Sanji's getting conquerors like what? An arc or 2 after Zoro, so it's like, nigga, that's not really fucking bad. But before I get to more yabbing about this shit more, let's get to the end of the chapter. But yeah, that's how this shit is amazing though. But then we see the final panel of the chapter, bro, is Imu and Luffy facing off. The panel even says Senran and Imu versus Monkey D. Luffy. And Luffy is in gear 5. He is not in base form no more. And he ain't doing none of that laughing shit. He is in straight serious mode. And of course, like we all expected, Luffy says he is not Nika, because Imu called him Nika like we would all expect Imu to do. And Luffy says he is not, that's not him. He is the person who will become king of the pirates. And that's the end of the chapter. Oda, this was a fucking banger. Thank God there is no break this upcoming week. So now we will be back whatever day it is, Thursday or Friday. I don't know which day it is. I have been hearing Toei's been cracking down on a lot of shit. So if I heard I might have to wait for official panels to come out for me to put the panels in the videos for y'all niggas. So if it is a slight delay on chapter reactions and shit by a day or so, it's cause of that. Cause I don't want my shit getting a copyright strike or taken the fuck down at all. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this was a good ass chapter, bro. Imu. Let's talk about Imu and Luffy for a second. We just got done talking about Sanji a lot. I've been seeing a lot of people say that it's too soon for Imu to fight Luffy. I can understand that sentiment, but I only feel that way if this is the only fight. If this is the only fight, then yeah, nah, Oda, that's bad ball, bro. That's not good at all in my opinion. But considering that most of Luffy's major opponents, he never fights them one time. He always loses once, majority of the time, and there's always a round 2. Usually, to be honest, it usually go up to round 3 most of the fucking time to keep it a buck. His major fights. We're not talking about every single little fight. We're talking about his major fights. So I definitely can see Oda doing some shit. And then we all got to keep in mind, bro, Imu's on a time limit. Imu is on a time limit or some sort of restriction to where he can't be out here or where it's hurting him to be out here. So that's already playing into his favor. Gumko just got unreleased. Considering the fact that there was some hype about what her eyes could do last chapter, I definitely feel like since she's broken out of the ice, she's going to play a part in helping Imu get the fuck out this island too. Whether it's her finally awakening her eye power or her just giving the Straw Hat some valuable information just to help get Imu the fuck up out of here. One of those two things for sure. Let's talk about this fight, how this fight should go before we talk about the outcome of it. This fight should be, Luffy should do maybe a little bit better than Loki. Right, that's what I'm expecting. Maybe a little bit better. I could see it being like maybe more than just a little bit better than Loki. Considering the fact that Loki is already going to this fight injured as fuck, and Luffy's main character and all that bullshit, perfect counter to Emu's fruit and all that, we would assume. So I could see it being like more than just a little bit better than Loki. I expect it to be similar to Loki though, like how they're both getting their licks in on some shit, but it's obvious that Emu could or should still be winning the fight. I feel like it should be something like that to where Luffy is still getting his licks in on Emu and Emu is still getting his licks in on Luffy, but it's obvious to the audience and to us reading this shit that if Emu was like not on his restricted type timing, he'd be beating Luffy. I feel like that's how the fight needs to feel, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna need Emu to fuck somebody up before he leaves. I know he did the whole little shit in the beginning. He fucked up Loki, he fucked up Gerd and her fingers and all that shit. Can he catch a real body before he dipped out? I know we still got a minute before that happens, but please, can he catch a body? Can he kill Gaban? Can he kill Yaru? Can he kill somebody? Please, pack a nigga up. Oda, please. He gotta kill somebody. But I also don't think this is gonna be the final fight between these two. Like I said, I definitely think there will be a round 2. Most niggas ever since the Emu Devil Fruit reveal just been thinking that it's finna be a fight here with Luffy. He finna go back home and Blackbeard gonna be way on his doorstep to fuck him up. Now, I'm not against the whole Blackbeard shit like how I've said in past videos, but I'm not for it if that means Luffy fights him here and then he goes back home and Blackbeard finishes him off. I wouldn't fuck with that at all, bro. Cause that means it would be this whole time just for Luffy to fight this nigga on Elbaf for like what, 10, 15 chapters, if that. And that's another thing. Oda, if this is the only fight you make with Luffy and Emu, my nigga, this better be the best One Piece fight in the whole fucking manga, nigga. This better top Rob Lucci versus Luffy. This better top Katakuri versus Luffy. Kaido versus Luffy. On God, nigga. If this is the only, if we only get one round between this nigga and then he gets sent packing by Blackbeard after this shit, on God, nigga, this better be the best fight hands down in the manga, if not top fucking 3 on Jesus, my nigga. So yeah, Oda, you got a lot of here to play right here now, bro. But I believe in you. Unlike all these other niggas out here talking shit, I always believe in you. But when you wrong, I definitely gotta call this shit out. Let me know what y'all think about this chapter, bro. This was an amazing ass chapter. My Sanji fans, bro, how the fuck are y'all feeling? You know what I'm saying? I know y'all boys feeling good as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm a Zoro fan, but I stand with y'all Sanji niggas because I am all for the Straw Hats getting power-ups and all being important. You know what I mean? The whole Sanji thing, though, interested to see how, like, he's actually going to use it, how it's going to awaken. Hopefully, this shit can lead to Blackleg Sanji actually being the thing. I said when Emu first touched down on this island and we saw the Black Flame shit, that this could be some validity to Sanji potentially unlocking that as well. So since it's official that he's it's pretty much confirmed now that he's getting conquerors or has it underlying in him, that hopefully we end up seeing the real Blackleg Sanji one of these days, bro. With this Luffy versus Emu shit, like I said, man, Oda, if you make it around one thing, that's bad. But if it's like a peak ass fight, a long drawn out good ass fight, then hey, it is what it is. Niggas will be upset it's not around 2, but if you do the fight justice, niggas can't really complain. But like I said, I don't think Oda's gonna do that. I think he's gonna have Emu, like, quote unquote, lose, like go back home, and then Luffy will fight him again another time. And then if Oda wants to go the whole Blackbeard route, he'll do that. And if not, he'll just have Imu lose to Luffy like on a round 2 on some regular shit or whatever. But that's my opinion, bro. Like I said, good ass chapter, a lot to look forward to. Even though this kind of felt like a setup chapter, it is not, because it's still a lot to take away from it, but it still is kind of a setup chapter though. As far as the whole Zoro versus Summer shit, like I said, I definitely feel like that fight might be better than what we think it's gonna be, but definitely not gonna be better than the Sanji fight that's finna happen with this Awakening of Conquerors and this Luffy versus Emu fight. All I know is, bro, Toei, if y'all fuck up the Sanji Conquerors reveal, my nigga, it's just pure as day that y'all have a bias against this nigga, bro. I swear to God. But hey, man, I'm not gonna make this video too long because I gotta edit this shit. I'm already gonna have this up late as fuck. Hopefully y'all boys enjoy. And like I said, we gonna be back here for the next chapter right on time. Love y'all niggas, and I'm out, bro. Peace.